At an incident, it's important to look after any casualties. What should you do with them when the area is safe? Keep them where they are. Ask them how it happened. Move them away from the vehicles. Give them something to eat. At an incident, it's important to look after any casualties. What should you do with them when the area is safe? Keep them where they are. Ask them how it happened. Move them away from the vehicles. Give them something to eat. Why have red routes been introduced in major cities? To raise the speed limits. To provide better parking. To help the traffic flow. To allow lorries to load more freely. What should you do when you see an older person about to cross the road ahead? Stop and wave them across the road. Speed up to get past them quickly. Expect them to wait for you to pass. Be careful, they may misjudge your speed. What does it mean if you see a pedestrian with a dog that has a yellow or burgundy coat? The pedestrian is an older person. The pedestrian is deaf. The pedestrian is colorblind. The pedestrian is a dog trainer. At an incident, someone is unconscious and you want to help. What would be the first thing to check? Whether they have any allergies. Whether their vehicle is insured. Whether their airway is open. Whether they are comfortable. When should tire pressures be checked? When tires are hot. After any lengthy journey. After traveling at high speed. When tires are cold. You're leaving your vehicle parked on a road and unattended. When may you leave the engine running? When parked in a 20 miles per hour zone. If the battery keeps going flat. Never if you're away from the vehicle. If you'll be parking for less than 5 minutes. You're leaving your vehicle parked on a road and unattended. When may you leave the engine running? When parked in a 20 miles per hour zone. If the battery keeps going flat. Never if you're away from the vehicle. What should you do if there's a bus at a bus stop ahead of you? Watch carefully for the sudden appearance of pedestrians. Flash your lights to warn the driver of your presence. Pass the bus as quickly as you possibly can. Continue at the same speed but sound your horn as a warning. Which driving technique can help you save fuel? Accelerating sharply in each gear. Using lower gears as often as possible. Using each gear in turn. Missing out some gears. What would be affected if you carry a very heavy load on your vehicle? The vehicle's handling. The vehicle's gearbox. The vehicle's ventilation. The vehicle's battery. What restrictions apply if you're towing a trailer on a 3-lane motorway? You mustn't exceed 50 miles per hour. You mustn't use the right-hand lane. You must have a stabilizer fitted. You mustn't overtake. What should you do if you're driving on a motorway and you miss the exit that you wanted to take? Carefully reverse along the hard shoulder. Carry on to the next exit. Make a U-turn at the next gap in the central reservation. Carefully reverse in the left-hand lane. Where should you park your vehicle at night? In a well-lit area. On a red route. In a quiet road. Near a police station. You're about to go down a steep hill. What should you do to control the speed of your vehicle? Select a low gear and use the brakes carefully. Select a low gear and avoid using the brakes. Select a high gear and use the brakes carefully. Select a high gear and use the brakes firmly. What's the speed limit for a car towing a caravan on a dual carriageway? 70 miles per hour. 40 miles per hour. 50 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour. Your vehicle has broken down on a motorway. In which direction should you walk to find the nearest emergency telephone? In the direction of the nearest exit. Facing oncoming traffic. In the direction shown on the marker posts. With the traffic flow. How can you reduce the risk of your vehicle being broken into at night? Park in a quiet side road. Leave it in a well-lit area. Park in a poorly lit area. Don't engage the steering lock. How should you use anti-lock brakes when you need to stop in an emergency? Keep pumping the foot brake to prevent skidding. Brake normally but grip the steering wheel tightly. Apply the parking brake to reduce the stopping distance. Brake promptly and firmly until you've stopped. What color are the reflective studs between a motorway and a slit road? Red, amber, green, white. You're driving in the right-hand lane of a dual carriageway. What should you do if you see a sign showing that the right-hand lane is closed 800 yards ahead? Keep in that lane until you reach the queue. Move to the left immediately. Wait and see which lane is moving faster. Move to the left in good time. You're waiting at a level crossing. What must you do if a train passes but the lights keep flashing? Park and investigate. Phone the signal operator. Carry on waiting. Edge over the stop line and look for trains. How will your journey be affected by traveling outside the busy times of day? Your journey will have fewer delays. Your journey will be more hazardous. Your journey will take longer. Your journey will use more fuel. You're driving at night. What should you do if you're dazzled by a vehicle behind you? Set your mirror to dazzle the other driver. Switch your rear lights on and off. Brake sharply to a stop. Set your mirror to the anti-dazzle position. When is fuel consumption at its highest? When you're braking. When you're turning sharply. When you're accelerating. When you're coasting. What should you do as you approach this lorry? Move to the right-hand side of the road. Slow down and be prepared to wait. Flash your lights at the lorry. Make the lorry wait for you. What can you do to help prevent tiredness on a long journey? Take regular refreshment breaks. Complete the journey without stopping. Play loud music in the car. Eat a large meal before driving. When would you use the right-hand lane of a two-lane dual carriageway? When you're passing a side road on the left. When you're staying at the minimum allowed speed. When you're traveling at a constant high speed. When you're turning right or overtaking. When must you stop your vehicle? At a junction where there are give-way lines. If you're involved in an incident that causes damage or injury. Before merging onto a motorway. At the end of a one-way street. You're approaching a roundabout. What should you do if a cyclist ahead is signaling to turn right? Overtake on the right. Signal the cyclist to move across. Give a warning with your horn. Give the cyclist plenty of room. Where would you see this sign? On the rear of a school bus or coach. In the window of a car taking children to school. At playground areas. At the side of the road. You want to turn right from a main road into a side road. What should you do just before turning? Select first gear. Stop and set the parking brake. Cancel your right turn signal. Check for traffic overtaking on your right. What should you do when you're driving along a road that has a series of road humps? Stay at a reduced speed for the whole stretch of road. Vary your speed between each road hump. Set your car's cruise control. Brake firmly when you reach each road hump. What should you do when you're driving along a road that has a series of road humps? Stay at a reduced speed for the whole stretch of road. Vary your speed between each road hump. Set your car's cruise control. Brake firmly when you reach each road hump. You're about to start a journey towing a trailer. What should you do if you notice that a light on your trailer is not working? Disconnect the trailer electrical coupling before continuing with your journey. Continue with your journey because the lights on your car are working. Repair the fault before continuing with your journey. Book the trailer in for repair before continuing with your journey. What would you expect to find at a contraflow system on a motorway? Wider lanes than normal. Lower speed limits. Temporary traffic lights. Road humps. On a 3-lane motorway, which lane should you use if there's no traffic ahead? Center. Right. Either the right or center. Left. Why do motorcyclists often look round over their right shoulder just before turning right? To check for traffic in their blind area. Motorcycles don't have mirrors. To listen for traffic behind them. It helps them balance as they turn. How can drivers help the environment? By driving faster. By using leaded fuel. By accelerating gently. By accelerating harshly. Which plate may appear with this road sign? You're approaching this roundabout. What should you do when a cyclist is keeping to the left while signaling to turn right? Overtake them. Assume they are turning left. Sound your horn. Allow them space to turn. Your vehicle breaks down on a motorway and you need to call for help. Why might it be better to use an emergency roadside telephone rather than a mobile phone? Using a mobile phone will distract other drivers. It connects you to a local garage. Mobile phones don't work on motorways. It allows easy location by the emergency services. Where's the safest place to park your vehicle at night? In a garage. Near a red route. On a busy road. In a quiet car park. You're driving past parked cars. What should you do if you see a bicycle wheel sticking out between the cars? Slow down and be prepared to stop for a cyclist. Brake sharply and flash your headlights. Slow down and wave the cyclist across. Accelerate past quickly and sound your horn. What should you do when you're following a motorcyclist along a road that has a poor surface? Follow closely so they can see you in their mirrors. Allow the same room as normal to avoid wasting road space. Overtake immediately to avoid delays. Allow extra room in case they swerve to avoid potholes. What should you do when you're following a motorcyclist along a road that has a poor surface? Follow closely so they can see you in their mirrors. Allow the same room as normal to avoid wasting road space. Overtake immediately to avoid delays. Allow extra room in case they swerve to avoid potholes. Why do motorcyclists wear bright clothing? The colors are popular. It helps keep them cool in summer. To make them more visible. They must do so by law. You're waiting to turn right out of a minor road. It's clear to the left but a lorry is coming from the right. Why should you wait, even if you have enough time to turn? Anything overtaking the lorry will be hidden from view. The lorry might be slowing down. The load on the lorry might be unstable. The lorry could suddenly speed up. A cycle lane, marked by a solid white line, is in operation. What does this mean for car drivers? They may use the lane when necessary. They may park in the lane. They mustn't drive along the lane. They may drive in the lane at any time. What can be damaged if you turn the steering wheel when the car isn't moving? The gearbox. The tires. The brakes. The engine. What can be damaged if you turn the steering wheel when the car isn't moving? The gearbox. The tires. The brakes. The engine. What's the speed limit for the car towing the caravan on this road? 40 miles per hour. 50 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour. 70 miles per hour. The caravan starts to swing from side to side. What should the driver do to bring it back under control? Accelerate until the swinging stops. Brake firmly until the swinging stops. Ease off the accelerator to slow down. Steer sharply in the opposite direction to the caravan swing. Why is the caravan unstable and swinging from side to side? Because there are traffic cones on the road. Because the other cars are passing too close to it. Because it's in the wrong lane. Because of side winds. What's the speed limit for a car towing a caravan on a dual carriageway? 70 miles per hour. 40 miles per hour. 50 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour.